gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Peña, the always opinionated Paris Lily, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1228. This is your host, Danny Peña, and this is the Café con Danny edition, which means I'm live on Twitch. I'm going to be answering some questions. I'm going to be talking about some different topics, not scripted. I'm straight up freestyle, and we're going to talk about it here. And so whoever's in the chat, make sure to have your questions ready because people are going to be listening to this live at home through their favorite podcast app, and we're going to just have a great conversation. And look, get your coffee ready, tea ready, water, whatever it is that you have right now at this moment while you're watching or listening to this podcast. We're going to go from there, man. So welcome, everyone. Episode 1228 here at Gamertag Radio. But first, head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. If you just discovered us just today or just now, go right now to our podcast, and we have an archive of over 1,000 episodes, actually over 1,200 episodes. You can go back. We have some great interviews, great iconic moments that happened throughout the whole 17 years. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, and also post your review. If you have some questions, feedback, or comment, this is how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're back here. And yeah, so the big conversation everybody's talking about is it's about Gotham Knights, and I'm going to talk about when I got to play the game a couple weeks back. I went to WB, the headquarters of WB here in Los Angeles, because WB Games came from out of town, I think from Montreal. I met the whole team, everything. I got to play the game, and I'm going to go back where the first time they announced the game, I was not impressed. I was like, I don't know about this game. I was very, I was kind of like a wait and see moment when I got to see the announcements a while back, right? So I finally got to play the game a couple of weeks ago with one of the producers at X-Play. His name is Joe, and we had a great time. We played a single player. That was the first part of the session. And then actually the first part of the session was a presentation about the game, things that you do, the story, everything. So they had the devs talk about it. It was like a video they were showing us. And then we got to play the solo campaign. And then after that was co-op. So I'm going to talk about that preview. Okay. I'm not breaking NDA or anything like that. It was the preview version. All right. So you could go right now to the official X-Play YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/xplay, and we have content there. I think almost like 50,000 views already on that episode because we talked about everything about the preview. And I'm not gonna get in deep into the story. You know, everybody knows Batman is dead in that game. Wink, wink. We'll see. And there's 4 different characters you could pick in there, like Nightwing, Batgirl, etc. Right? So the thing I want to talk about is I got to play the game. I had a great time with it. I was kind of iffy about the co-op mode. I know some people want to know how it is. I had a better time playing just solo because I'm like that when it comes to games like similar to that, open world games and everything. And I had a great time. I wasn't I didn't felt the same as before, which I was kind of like, meh. I was very impressed and I had a great time. Is it a game of year, something like that? No, I think it's one of those, like, if you're a fan of DC, you're going to enjoy it, right? So when I play the game, I wasn't even thinking about, oh, is it 30 FPS, 60 FPS, or whatever? No, I was just playing it just to play it, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and I even talked about that on Next Play. I was very surprised. Now the conversation I see now, where everybody like, oh, the game is 30 FPS consoles, everything like that. I think it's different with PC. I'm not 100% sure, but I know everybody's talking about the console version, and I know has been confirmed from uh, the devs. I think they were on Discord and talked about it there and everything, man. So I usually don't look at that as much of like, is it 30 FPS or what? Because look, I even play some games on Nintendo Switch that's also available on Xbox and PlayStation 5, which is maybe even worse playing it there, right? Like graphically and like that. And I just play it. I just enjoy it. I don't think about if it's 30 or 60 or is it 4K or not. I don't think about that. I just play the game and enjoy it. And I think we need more gamers like that to just focus on just having fun, man. I think this is like a huge exaggerated controversy, I think, in my opinion. Now, it's okay to be disappointed. That's fine. But to say that the game is a disaster because it's 30 FPS is kind of ridiculous, Again, we're gonna see, and we're gonna see what happens once the game comes out. Is it good or not? We will talk about it here in the podcast, everything. But I'm very curious to see and to hear from people that are in the chat right now. Do you think this is a deal breaker for you? Are you not gonna buy the game just because it's not 60 FPS? For the next gen console, because this game is only available next gen. It's not available for the previous consoles like Xbox One or PlayStation 4. So for me, even if I'm reviewing it, I think I would have just gotten it because I like open world games and I had a great time exactly last time when I got to play it. It was fun. So very, very interesting to see how many people are just arguing and debating online, and I bet you a lot of them don't even know what the hell 30 FPS is. Like it's ridiculous, man. But yeah, I see a couple people here. I see Cool Kev in the chat says if he'll get it, it will be on PC. Now I wonder if the game is going to work on the Steam Deck. That's something I don't know. Imagine that the Steam Deck has 60 FPS, but not on the console. That will be an interesting conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what? This month in October, there's so many games. Warhammer Dark Tide, the beta is out. It's gonna end until tomorrow, right? I think it's later tonight. I'm not sure. So is that there's Marvel Rabbids 2, right? There's Scorn that just came out for the PC and also Xbox. You could get that Game Pass if you want. Plague Tale, right? That also comes out this week, I believe, right? Coming up. It looks like a horror. Is that a horror game, Captain? I'm not sure because I haven't even played the game yet. And also Gotham Knights. That's another one. And we have Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 2 comes out. I believe the way how they have it is, I think the single player comes out first. I think I don't know. It's a weird thing that they're doing over there at Activision. But yeah, the game is also coming out, Call of Duty, so yeah, see, the game that I'm waiting also is God of War, the next God of War, and also Callisto Protocol for me. I'm waiting for that. That's coming up in December. And also High in Life. Forgot about that one. That one's also going to be available on Xbox Game Pass and also PC, console, Xbox, so I'm very excited to try that out. That looks very, very interesting to play. So all right, another conversation I want to bring up is this, man, about Elena Taylor. She's the voice actor of the Bayonetta series. I know Bayonetta 3 is coming out now. Is it Bayonetta 3? Yeah, right, it's coming out yeah, coming out I think now in the end of this month. Actually, I looked it up. It's going to be the 28th, actually, is coming out. So So Helena Taylor posted a video online, which I'm gonna play it here because I'm very, very curious to see what everybody has to say about it. But she talked about that. I don't know if it's Platinum Games or Nintendo or what, but she's saying that they offer her $4,000 to record Bayonetta 3. The thing that I'm kind of confused, and she's done part 1 and part 2. She's not in part 3. Now is Jennifer Hale. And that's the thing I wanted to talk to you about. Jennifer Hale is a very well-known actor. She's done Mass Effect. She actually was on Gamertag Radio to talk about Ratchet and Clank. She was part of that project too. She's really, really well-known in this industry. She's a legend. She's done also cartoons. That is a more expensive voice actress, but Helena been part of Bayonetta now for a couple years, and they were offering her $4,000. I don't know. Very strange to me. But I'm gonna play her video here, and please let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna play it right here.
Hello, my name's Helena Taylor, and I am the voice of Bayonetta, and I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3. The Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million. That's not including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles. And what did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US. This is an insult to me, the amount of time that I took to work on my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity. I didn't want the world. I didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage. What they did was legal, but it was immoral.
Wow. So she even got emotional recording that video. It's pretty messed up. $4,000, that's nothing, man. That is nothing. I always will say this, man, to people that do any type of work, even if it's content creation, development, voice acting, whatever it is, man, know your worth. You know, I declined a lot of stuff in the past because it wasn't worth the money and the trouble. It felt like it was going to be too much work and they were only going to pay a certain amount. I'm like, I'm good. So I don't blame her at all. The part where I'm wondering if the community are going to do this, because look, believe it or not, Bayonetta, it's a very well-known game. A lot of people are very excited about that game. It's been people have been waiting for it for a very, very long time. And she says to boycott and instead, with that money, donate to charity. So my question to you guys, whoever's listening to this or watching the live stream, do you see yourself buying this game at all? Or if you're a fan of Bayonetta, I think it's very messed up that they were going to pay her only $4,000 flat rate to record the whole thing, which is ridiculous, honestly. And I know one of the devs, I think the higher ups from Planet Games, posting on Twitter that that's untrue and all this stuff. But then he wrote at the end, in all caps, "Beware of my rules," or something like that. And I'm like, so she's basically breaking the NDA, basically. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to go to court or what. But the last thing I want to say about this too is I don't want people to go and hit up Jennifer Hale. She has nothing to do with this. She's a voice actress. Probably she got contacted by playing games from Nintendo to work on this game too, and she probably didn't know anything that was going on. And she's also under NDA. She can't say anything about this. She can't post a statement. Nothing. But I've been seeing tweets of people replying to her or attacking her because of all this, and I think that's very, very unfair. She has nothing to do with this. She didn't rob Helena's job opportunity. That's truly false. People are just coming up with random and insane conspiracy theories online. So please, everyone, just stop doing that. It's very unfair. That has nothing to do with Jennifer Hale, man. So just want to say that very quick. But yeah, I know a lot of voice actors, man. I'm wondering, what my friends have to say about that. Because honestly, I don't know how much usually voice actors get paid every time they record a game. If it's like a game like Grand Theft Auto, which I heard about this years back, usually they will contact the agent or the voice actor directly, and they'll tell them to come to record a project name. They will not mention the name of the game because it's so well known that they don't want the game to get leaked or anything like that. So, and they'll go to the studio and record without knowing what it is, and then they'll find out exactly what it is, and it sounds like NDA and all that stuff, man. So, but yeah, it is pretty difficult, man. Seeing that video, and yeah, her face, like you could tell that she's very emotional. That's like an important project for her, for Helena. So, but yeah, I hope everything gets resolved in the future. We'll see what's gonna happen. The game comes out in a couple of days. Actually, I think like in a week or so. Next week it comes out. And I'm wondering what's gonna happen. But yeah, please, anybody that's out there that's listening to Gamertag Radio, please post your comments here or in Discord. Let me know your thoughts about everything, man. So very curious to hear. And yeah, there is a union. Captain asked, isn't there a union for voice actors? Yes. And the thing is, Helena lives in the UK, so I don't know how it is over there, but I know here in the States there is, and Jennifer Hale is part of the union. So that's another thing I was saying earlier. That she got paid way more than $4,000. So I don't know. I don't get the whole thing. So if somebody knows, please let me know in the chat, because that's very, very interesting. So, all right. So I have a couple of email here. This is a voice messages they got. We're going to celebrate here fan mail we haven't done in a while. So let's go and answer some questions. It's time for fan mail.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
Hi guys, Luigi here from the UK. Hope you're all keeping well. I've been doing some thinking on what sort of console I would love to see at some point in the future. Now, this is living in sort of dreamland here, but I would love to see Sega make a comeback. And what I would love to see from them is the type of device that Nintendo have in the Switch, where you can dock it or take it on the go. But specifically concentrate on their games and the style of games. For example, Streets of Rage 4. Now, it's fantastic. You still get that nostalgia feeling, but, the updated visuals, they're absolutely awesome. Now, you imagine they could do that, just off the top of my head, with games such as Desert Strike, Golden Axe, games like that, where they could make a new game in that new art style, visual style, But yeah, like I said, living in dreamland here, something I would love to see. Is that something you feel would be good to see yourselves? But yeah, other than that, guys, thanks for the content. Listen to every episode and take care.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the voicemail. All the way from the UK. Let's go. Everybody's gonna have like one of those like let me dream moments, right? I know for me, I've been having moments like that many times here on the podcast. But yeah, so I would love for Sega to come back and do something different and unique. I really doubt that's gonna happen. Because the last console was Sega Dreamcast. I would love to see a Dreamcast Mini. That's something that I've been praying the one day to happen, and I will be the first one to buy it. First person, for sure, because there's some great games that came out there for that console that I would like to replay it again, man. Like Power Stone, Soul Calibur, Phantasy Star Online, Jet Set Radio. Shenmue 1 and 2, Choo Choo Rocket, really, really cool game. I'm trying to remember other ones too. There was a couple RPG games too that I played from there too. That was actually pretty fun. So now I know Sega, they're releasing a Sega Genesis Mini, which I think I'm getting one for review, and I'll probably will do an unboxing and play it here. So you guys can see all the games there, which you could also play some Sega CD games there, which is going to be available on that console, which is really, really interesting. I didn't know that was going to happen, which I went to see what type of games is there, and I saw Sega CD. I'm like, oh, okay. That was actually my first console, because there's actually an adapter you put it to your Sega Genesis, but that was my first console that I purchased because when I started working, I used to be a bag boy at a supermarket, and I saved up to buy that adapter, put it on my Sega Genesis, and I played a couple of really cool games. I even got Mortal Kombat CD. I got I think there was like a couple of music games there you could play. Night Trap. There was a couple other ones there, man. So yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that. I think it's sold out. I'm not 100% sure. If you guys planning to purchase one or pre-order it, go right now if it's available. But I think the last thing I heard was sold out. But go double check again. I can't remember. But there's gonna have a great package of games there, which actually I'm gonna go right now and look for it to see. Let me see, Sega Genesis Mini list of games. Let's see what they have here. It's actually 42 games in total. 42 games. And I'm going to mention a couple ones that I'm very excited. So they're going to have Tetris, Virtua Fighter 2, Monster World 4, Road Rash 2, Internal Champions, Strider, Light Crusader, Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania, Toe Jam and Earl, Comics Zone, Ultra Beast, Shinobi 3, Streets of Rage 2, one of my all-time favorite Streets of Rage game, Earthward Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Contra Hard Corps, that's a classic Genesis game, Street Fighter 2, Special Edition, a Special Championship Edition, Golden Axe, Phantasy Star 4. They also have Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Let's see what else we have here. It's a long list, but I know there is a couple ones, and it's coming out very, very soon, and it's going to cost $79.99. The US version will include the 2 3-button controllers, perfect for a couple games there. But yeah, that's gonna come out very, very soon. So I don't know who else is planning to get it, but I plan to get it. I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Plus, it's iconic, man. Sega Genesis was really, really cool, man. I even got to play the Sega channel, which technically at that time, it was similar to Xbox Game Pass. Just connect your Sega Genesis to your cable box. There was like an adapter and cable that comes with it. You pay a monthly fee, excuse me, and from there, what you could do is you go to the channel. It takes like a couple minutes to log in. Everything. It wasn't as fast as how it is now, but during that time, you have a selection of games you could play. Everything is there. You don't need to go out there and buy the game. Sometimes they'll also have exclusive games that was only available through there that was not available in stores at all. So that's another thing. And everything looked at 16-bit. There was even pages, part of the Sega channel, where people will send questions or drawings, and the Sega team would turn that into 16-bit, and you could read it, the letter, like questions, feedback, or you could also see the drawings that people have been creating just for the channel. It was really, really cool. Really cool. The games that I was always playing using the Sega channel was Shinobi, Part 2, Streets of Rage 1 and 2, and Sonic. Those are the 3 top games I was always playing there, man. So it was really, really different. And I think it was ahead of its time back then. There was nothing like that at all. A subscription service where you pay monthly in the 90s. That was Game Pass back then. So it didn't last long because people felt weird in the early 90s to pay a monthly fee just to play games. It was very, very different at that time. If you think about it, people could save a lot of money back then too, man, because games was so expensive back in the days, man. People complain about $70 games now. That was happening back in the 90s, man, with cartridges. Even Nintendo 64 games was expensive. I remember buying games that was $80 back then, So yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Another one. I have another question here. Another voicemail. I'm gonna play it here in the podcast, and of course, this is from the man himself, Keon. Let's play right now.
What's going on, Gamertag Radio? How are you brothers doing? This is Keon calling from Baltimore. I just had more of a question for you guys. Is it a safe bet? I mean, I'm giving you this message on October 3rd. Is it a safe bet to say that there will be no PlayStation Showcase this year? And if that is the case, does this, on top of Horizon Zero Dawn remaster or remake allegedly being in the works, as well as price hikes going on over at Sony, along with various other things, possibly the PlayStation VR 2 being $600. Of course, that's rumors. That is not a fact. But I'm just bringing all of this up to say, does this show that there is a bit of a shift going on over at Sony that we possibly haven't seen thus far with them? Usually they're really in tune with their fan base, and they usually have a pattern of things that they do. Now, I'm not saying it's, a red flag or anything like that, but is it a little peculiar to you guys that things seem to be switching over at Sony on the PlayStation side? I know it's new leadership and things of that nature, but do things seem a little off over at PlayStation right now? Like they're not quite reading the room like they usually would. I would love to get you guys' thoughts and opinions. As always, you guys are incredible at what you do. And with that being said, you guys have a good day and take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, first of all, Keon, thank you so much for calling in. I love that you're always sending us questions and feedback, and always hit me up on Instagram too, man. Shout out to you every time we have a new episode. So thank you, man. Your support means a lot to me and the crew, man. So thank you. Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's a combination of a couple things. One, the old PlayStation team, they're not around anymore, like Adam Boys, during that time. They're not around, and Jim Ryan just took over the company, and it's very, very different than before. I felt like back then there was more engagement with PlayStation and the community. I love that they were having more events where People could go and play the games. So one was either at E3 or they have the PlayStation experience in San Francisco. I know they did one, I think, in Las Vegas one year. So it's very, very different now. The team is different, like I said, right? Another thing too, I think the combination of what happened with all the changes because of the pandemic and everything, I think that that's one of the reasons why a lot of games got delayed too, because of that too. But here's the thing. I feel like if you're a fan of any company, it could be PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. If you're a fan of any company, I think it's great to send your feedback to that company through social, or like I always tell people, vote with your wallet. If you feel like they're going to a path where it feels kind of weird and not how it used to be, that you probably just don't agree with, be vocal about it, talk about it in a respectful way, of course. We did that when Xbox One was coming out that year. I was very vocal. Paris and the crew were very vocal about a lot of things that we didn't like about the console, right? I even did an open letter to Don Matrick, which went around. You could search online. It's on our old version of the site of gamertagradio.com. And it helped me and others to be even more vocal. And actually, when Phil Spencer took over the company at Xbox, we got invited to interview Phil at E3, one-on-one in-person interview. And we did it. Great conversation. That was the first time. And then we had him again for our 1000 episode on Gamertag Radio, which you could go and listen to it. Iconic episode, by the way. So that's one of the things. I think it is important to be vocal about it. I know one of the questions that Keon asked, are we going to see any showcase this year? I don't think so. I think maybe next year, something like that, right? We probably will see a state of play, maybe. Maybe that makes more sense. But an actual showcase, I don't see that happening at all for 2022. 2023, maybe in the summer. If there's a lot more games coming out that next year, for sure we're going to see that. Right now, PlayStation will do probably a couple of state of play, either to promote a game, first party game, third party game, or the PlayStation VR, which that one, we probably going to find out more about that in the future. But I think that's about it. And no matter what announcement Sony makes, people are going to go crazy, say it's going to be the greatest thing in the world, and people are going to support it. That is always going to happen, Nothing against Sony at all, but look, I'm excited for God of War. It comes out now in a couple weeks, right? So I'm very excited about that. But again, like I said to you guys, if there's something that you guys don't like that's happening, with Sony, just be vocal about it. I think it's very, very important, and give the feedback. I think that's the only way we can make change in the industry, by just saying the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing too. Like people will always bring up the whole console war stuff. Like, look, that's just nonsense. There's people from Sony and also from Xbox. I see them hanging out all the time at parties, and and they engage a lot. People don't see that publicly, but it happens behind the scenes all the time. So that's why that's what I love about the industry, man. Everybody get along and everything. And the biggest thing that's coming up very, very soon is the Game Awards. Now, maybe we might see some stuff from Sony during the Game Awards. See, that makes more sense too. If there's nothing else happening, like any big announcements, they can show it there, right? And we probably find out more stuff in the future. So we'll see. But thanks, Keon, for that question. I totally agree with you. This has been kind of strange and weird at PlayStation lately, But hey, they're doing pretty good with the sales. God of War's coming up. People are very hyped for that game. But let's see what's going to happen after that. All right. Is there any other questions here in the chat before before I wrap it up here, because I'm doing this solo. This is a podcast version, by the way. I'll wrap up. I'll probably continue streaming, play some games here. But all right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to episode 1228. This is a solo episode of Danny Peña, Café con Danny. Hopefully next week we'll have the whole crew here so we could record and just enjoy and everything, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you have feedback, comments, anything, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I have a couple of things to talk about next week. Remember, go right now to the YouTube channel of XPlay, youtube.com/XPlay. I have a 30-minute conversation with the legendary Ed Boon, the co-creator of Mortal Kombat. We talked about a lot about the game. We talked about the 30th anniversary, everything behind the scenes, how they came up with the concept of creating an iconic fighting game back in the early 90s. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this, but the creators of Mortal Kombat, 2 Latinos, and a lot of people don't know about that. And we talked about that, why this is important to talk about it publicly, and why why is it important to talk about it for the industry and everything like that. So make sure to check it out. Go right now to youtube.com/XPlay. And the interview is right there. It's only 30 minutes. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts. I was very, very excited. I've been trying to get Boone on XPlay. And also I've been trying to get him here on Gamertag Radio for a very, very long time. And we had a great conversation. I did, and it's funny, I did mess up during the interview, but I kept on going. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. People are gonna talk about it in the under the comments, and But overall, great conversation. It was really cool. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Until next time, here at Gamertag Radio. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.